What's going on, my people? This is episode 52. Here with Isaac Fredericks,
Yo.
the Big Dick Bandit.
Yeah. That's what they call me.
Anyway, let's talk about some business today. Let's fucking preach. We're preaching. I guess it is Sunday, isn't it?
Guess so.
All right. First thing I was gonna do.
What are we preaching?
I wanted to talk about because this weekend's Ilia versus Max, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's gonna be crazy.
let's go over that fight card real quick. We'll start from the bottom. Oh shit. They got the Magomedov guy, the Bullet.
Oh,
Fighting.
Shara Bullet.
Yep. Nashara Putin, or however the fuck you say his first name.
Yeah. I don't know. That dude's kind of weird.
He's good though.
He is good. It's just something about a redhead Dagestan guy. Just,
With one eye.
With
that's
one
just
eye.
fucking murking people.
Yeah, it just seems weird.
Ankalaev's fighting. Lerone Murphy's fighting Dan Ige. I guess Dan Ige took this on short notice.
Again.
That's what I heard.
Who's Ankalaev fighting?
I don't. Alexander Rakic.
Oh.
Let's look at that fight real quick. I don't know if he's like. Because I think is that the guy everybody said that Alex was scared to fight? Ankalaev?
I think so.
Is that the same guy?
Yeah. I think Ankalaev would probably take him down.
You think?
Or like he'd like want to or something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've heard some crazy shit that people, yeah.
What weight does he fight at?
Light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight.
All right, so let's just go predictions. Who you got? Magomedov versus Armin. The Bullet versus the Armin Petrosian.
I don't know. Probably Shara Bullet. They're
Yeah.
probably just trying to give him fights to get him popular, for real.
All right, who you got? Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic.
Ankalaev.
Yeah, that's who I got. I got Bullet, Ankalaev, Lerone Murphy versus Dan Ige.
Dan, the man.
Let's look at this one real quick.
He had a good fight against Diego Lopez. That's
Yeah, he
crazy. I
did.
couldn't believe it.
This Lerone Murphy's 14-0 though.
Dang.
He's 14-0-1. He actually won a decision against Edson Barbosa recently.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good win.
I mean, it doesn't look like he's really fought anybody, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, you're going Dan Ige.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Dan Ige too. Then we got the two big daddies. We got Robert Whitaker versus Khamzat.
Uh-oh.
I believe that's a 3-rounder. It makes sense because I
Yeah.
don't think.
I don't even think they would need 5 rounds. For real.
I mean, if it goes 5 rounds, Robert Whitaker's taking that. But
Khamzat's just crazy.
it's just that first round.
Yeah.
That first round and a half is like you
he
gotta.
just goes nuts.
Yeah, you gotta like keep him at bay. Or
It
you're
really
toast.
is just, can Robert Whitaker, like, defend for however long Khamzat's going to go nuts?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, if he... Yeah, if he can last a round with Khamzat, I think Robert Whitaker wins.
Yeah, I think he's good.
The problem is lasting a fucking round.
Yeah.
Because he's going to come out and he's going to be, like... It's just going to be like a psychopath trying to keep...
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder how good his gas tank is. Because he keeps on, like, getting sick and canceling fights and pulling out of fights. And, like, I just wonder with all this, like, getting sick and stuff and probably taking antibiotics.
yeah.
Is his cardio, like, going to suck or is it going to be good? What's up with that?
I don't know. I mean... Yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to go Robert Whittaker round 3 KO.
I'll say round 2 KO.
You think Rob's going to? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think he'll put him out.
I think so, too. I
Bobby
think,
Knuckles.
dude, so many people were, like, doubting Robert Whittaker. Everybody thinks Khamzat's just going to run through him.
I mean, he might, but...
He might, for sure.
It's possible.
I mean...
I don't know. Is Robert Whittaker out of his prime or what?
That's the thing. He's only 27-7. And let's look at who he's lost to. He's fucking lost to... okay, that was canceled. His last fight, he's won 2 in a row. He beat Ikram Aliskerov and Paulo Costa.
Oh, yeah.
And the last person he lost to was Dricus.
Yeah, Dricus.
Who's now the champ, and he also beat fucking Izzy. Debatably beat Sean Strickland.
Yeah. That dude's such a weird fighter.
But he's like, who?
Dricus.
He's like awkward.
He's just strange. He just looks so unathletic. But he still does it anyway.
Yeah.
Somehow. It's like he like took like a good luck potion and like good stuff is just happening for some reason.
Who do you got? Ilia versus Max.
I want Max to win.
Me too.
Max has to be so much longer than Ilia. How tall is Max Holloway? Because if you look at Ilia and Volkanovski next to each other, they were like similar sizes. Like Ilia wasn't too much taller than him. Max was so much taller than...
He's 3 inches tall. Ilia's 5'6", Max is 5'9".
Wow, Max is only 5'9"?
I know, which is crazy.
That's weird. I might tweak if I see him in person, because in my head he's like 6'2". You know what I mean?
Yeah, like seeing people on TV is always like Dylan was telling me, or it was like a while ago, that David is like the same size as Aljo.
That's so
I mean,
weird.
Obviously not like build-wise, but like height-wise. Like David's a little bit shorter than Aljo. Which I was like, I don't know if that's true, because David's like...
That's weird. I guess Sean was a lot like shorter than I imagined him to be.
Yeah. I mean, Aljo is 5'7".
That's crazy.
Like, you think Aljo's like a massive, like, monster.
He looks like a monster.
And he's only 5'7".
That's crazy. That's nuts.
Dude, being 170, what? He walks around like probably about 175. Being 175 at 5'7" is kind of crazy.
Who,
yeah.
Aljo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude's ripped out of his mind.
But I really want Max to win too.
Yeah, I want Max to win. I think he could, but
I don't know if Ilia's going to want to stand and strike with him, to be honest. I think it's going to be one of those things where he's like talking all this shit, and then he starts getting pieced up a little bit, and then he's gonna be shooting for the legs. Yeah. Because like everyone, I don't know. Like in my opinion, I think Ilia Topuria has probably the best boxing in MMA right now, especially in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, like just the way he look, like it's clean. Yeah. It looks clean. Now, like, I mean, some people can look like shit and their distance management's like perfect and all that shit, and they can just bust you up. But Max Holloway is not somebody to fucking stand and strike with.
No way.
So.
Well, Max is a big dude too. Like he went up and like
he looked
ass at lightweight.
Yeah. Well, and that was what I heard a lot of people were saying. It was like, if anybody was going to put him out, it was going to be Justin Gaethje.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he couldn't.
No.
And in fact, he got fucked up.
I wonder how much different that fight would have been if the kick to Justin's nose in the first round hadn't happened. Because that broke his nose.
That spinning back kick.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, that was nasty.
But
that was right at the end of the first, right?
Literally right at the bell.
Like, it was, he was, like, up against the fence.
Yeah, and, like, Max, like, turned... It looked like it was supposed to be a body kick. Like, he turned around and, like, threw it backwards.
Yeah.
And Justin leaned into it. And
Yeah.
it caught his nose.
His nose was like sideways after that.
Yeah,
His shit was fucked
his
up.
nose was bad.
But
That fight was crazy.
dude, I don't really know what to say. I'm gonna say, because how many KOs does Max have? I don't know if it'll show his actual record. He's 26-7, 12 KOs. Did you see all the shit that Ilia and Connor were saying back and forth?
Yeah.
That was so funny.
I love it when. I don't know. That's just funny.
I don't know. I'm gonna go Ilia. I'm gonna go Max round 4. Cause here's the thing, like, I don't think Ilia. Have we seen Ilia's gas tank?
I personally have not.
I haven't either. And if he's only been in one 5-rounder, and he
Yeah.
finished what was that, second round?
Yes. I think it might be I don't know. First or second.
Either the first or second. It was second round. So we've never really seen him past 3 rounds, so we don't know what his gas tank's like in
it
a
might be
5-rounder.
horrendous.
It might be terrible.
And Max Holloway's got a good gas tank.
And Max Holloway has one of the best gas tanks in the world.
Max Holloway
in
can
UFC.
throw down the whole time.
So that
No
might
problem.
change. That might change things. Like if Max can, last 3 rounds, which his chin has been
Yeah, he's got
granite
a pretty
up
good
until
chin.
now. But it's granite until it isn't. I guess you know what I mean.
Yeah, till it breaks.
Yeah. So
He might punch him in the face.
I would hope. Anyway, so I got this notification the other day. Former Canadian Olympic snowboarder is wanted for cocaine distribution and murder.
Whoa.
I was like, Jesus Christ,
Dang,
dude.
dude's having a good time.
And then somebody I work with was telling me. He was telling me that this dude was wanted for 60 tons of cocaine distribution. I was like, no way.
Dude. How do you get that much cocaine?
I don't know. I'm not a cocaine. Accused of being a fugitive drug lord.
That's how I'm trying to be, for real.
Let's try to see how much. Oh my goodness. Ryan James Wedding, 43, representing Canada in the 2002 Olympics in Salt Lake City. Prosecutors allege his operation shipped as much as 827 pounds of cocaine in a single month,
Bruh.
moving it from Mexico to the Southern California, then Ontario, Canada.
That's crazy.
That is insane. That's it? There's only a $50,000 reward for this guy?
Dang, bro.
830 pounds of cocaine. He looks like he would be a cocaine distributor. Look at that.
Oh my gosh, he does. He really does. What's his name?
Ryan James Wedding.
Yeah, Ryan.
Good old Ryan.
Ryan.
That'd be interesting. Dude saw the money raking in from that cocaine and said, fuck snowboarding.
Seriously. Yeah,
he
went from snowboarding to snowboarding.
Yeah, literally.
Jeez.
Ugh. So I about put a Zen in today for this pod, get a little juiced up.
Serious?
Yeah. I was thinking about it because right now I'm taking a coffee break. For a
Oh,
little bit.
dude, those are rough.
I know, they suck. They're the worst weeks ever.
Yep.
But I decided against it. Nicotine is good for you. Let's see what. I know Andrew Huberman has said some shit about nicotine. Hopefully this comes up quickly because I don't want to look for it.
Should get those knickknacks.
What are those?
It's like Tim had them for a while. It's like mint, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's just. Oh, he had a whole episode. Anyway, Andrew Huberman says that it's like good for cognitive function, which nicotine is good for you if you can find it in good, like, natural sources.
Yeah.
But the issue is when it's like not, or yeah.
Or when you get hooked on it and then you're busting out a can of Zins every 2 days.
Yeah. Which nicotine is like one of the most addictive substances.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see how it would be tough not to get hooked on that.
Yeah. I can't really find it, but
Have you ever had like a real strong Nick buzz?
dude, yeah, I got a couple stories. Two in particular. There was one time, I mean, nothing too crazy, but I was at this party in high school. And I decided to put in a fat upper decker, just shoved it in there.
No way.
And I was like a little tipsy, and I started swallowing it, and it was long cut too, so it wasn't like one of the tobacco pouches. It was long cut,
straight chew.
Yeah, and I started puking. Like, I was throwing up for like 4 hours.
Oh my!
It was so bad. And
that's
then
funny.
there was another time where it was like just a little pouch. I threw it in. I got super nauseous. I was like, all right, fuck that. I took it out. I was like, no, dude, that shit sucks. Have you ever had that?
Yeah, dude. I think it was like my freshman year. My freshman or my sophomore year, I was at one of my buddies' houses, and one of them had a vape, and I wasn't too worried about it. He was like, dude, just hit this thing. Just inhale it. And I was like, all right, whatever. And so I did, and I just did it too long, and I was just buzzing like a hornet.
Yeah, dude.
Like bad.
Dude,
and
it gets crazy.
I about like shit myself basically. And
Really?
I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. I'm done with that.
Dude, nicotine sucks. I don't like it. Now, if you get like 2 milligrams, it's probably not bad.
Yeah, but when you're sucking on a vape,
yeah,
for the first time ever,
yeah, you get like,
keep that thing away.
I don't know. It feels like you're about to. I don't know. I just don't like it. That shit sucks.
Yeah, it'll make you tweet.
But let me read this post about Caffeine Reset by Dan Garner. He says, hang on, he said, by resetting your tolerance, which is something he advises to do once every 6 months, it allows your brain to regain its natural sensitivity to caffeine, ensuring that when you reintroduce it, the stimulant's effects are stronger and more effective. Essentially, like, it'd be like having a cup of coffee for the first time ever again. It says as tolerance builds, you will find yourself needing more caffeine to achieve the same effects, which can lead to diminishing returns and disrupted sleep patterns, increased anxiety, and even impaired overall baseline cognitive function. So, I think it's good every once in a while to kind of just take a break, like you said.
Usually, sometimes I won't even order another bag of coffee until the one that I'm like on is out, because it'll take like a week for it to get to me. So I'll just I either won't drink coffee at all, or I'll just drink matcha.
How much caffeine does matcha have? Is it?
I think it's like a third of a cup of coffee.
Okay. What's a cup of coffee normally have? 100? Or is it?
I think a regular cup of coffee usually has like 90.
Okay.
I think.
And like, I really don't abuse coffee very much. Like, there'll be times where I have it later in the day when I shouldn't, but it's normally just a taste. I like the taste of coffee, so I drink it for the taste. I don't really drink it for the caffeine benefit.
Yeah.
I drink it every morning before I go train, so it's like, I notice there's been times where like I don't drink coffee and I gotta go train, and I feel like a little bit slow, in the head. Like, I feel like, what am I doing?
Yeah, I understand that.
But
if I drink it before I train, I'll get a tummy ache.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, dude. I guess I could probably drink it like an hour before I train, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't drink it right before, but
I usually wait till after, because then
yeah,
I can like, you know,
that's fair.
play Fortnite while I'm drinking it. Dude,
I was
there's
gonna,
nothing like drinking coffee and playing Fortnite. I'm so serious, bro.
dude, I'd do that and play Warzone a little bit. It's pretty fire. I was gonna send you this thing. I was literally in the car before me and Kayla drove to Mommy to get my haircut yesterday.
Fire haircut.
Thanks, bro.
I forgot to say something. I was too worried about the cardigan to say something about hair. You know.
Yeah, I wanted to change it up a little bit, get a little like mullet going on. I guess it's not really like a full blown mullet, but I was reading this thing on Instagram, and I was gonna send it to you because I wanted to talk about it today. My Instagram like refreshed. I couldn't find it. I was pissed.
Damn.
So I sent you these two things instead. The first one is you don't have to work hard to achieve your purpose. You have to work hard to let go of your mental limitations that are blocking the purpose from unfolding naturally.
Straight up.
I think a lot of people mentally limit themselves. Like, they view society as like an end all, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, if they want to do something, for example, like I want to be a fighter, but they look at how society looks at them and they're like, well, I can't be a fighter because it's not normal. It's
Yeah,
not
I gotta
like,
go to college.
yeah, like
Stuck in the grooves
just
of society.
yeah. So I thought that one was pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty fire.
This other one is, if energy is neither created nor destroyed, which is a law of thermodynamics, everything you will ever want already exists. It is simply a matter of choosing the correct thoughts, which will put you into alignment with what you desire.
That one's pretty good.
That's fire.
That one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Dude, I have to remember that one.
I'm so like, I sent it to you on Instagram, so it'll be in there. But I'm so like, I think energy is so fucking real. Like, most people don't think energy is real because you can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
But quite literally, like, just the way you view things is the way your life is. Like, I've talked about this so many times. Like, if you look at things in a positive manner, your shit's gonna, like, you're gonna be positive. Like, your life is gonna be positive.
Definitely, yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that. I think that's what your soul is, basically. It's just energy. I think that if you're thinking on, like, high, like, it just sounds so, like hippie for me to say this, but if you're thinking on, like high vibration and, like, good vibrations, then that's, like, the existence that you'll
manifest.
follow.
Yeah, I mean, and that's true. Like, so before that, before the fight with Conor, I was always kind of a believer in manifestations and stuff, but I'm like 100% a believer now.
Mm-hmm.
Right before that fight, I sent Kayla a text and I said, I can't remember exactly what I said. I think I said, like, I love you. I'll text you after. It's already in the universe. Off with his head. That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Like, I think it was like 5-10 minutes before I walked out. I texted her that. And then that, whatever happened.
Need him in the head. That was crazy.
It was, like, it was electrifying. Like, the energy that went, it was so crazy to explain. Like, when it happened, it was almost, like, unbelievable that it happened.
Yeah.
Because, like, it was just so electric. Like, you had to be there and, like, experience. It was more electrifying probably for me than it was for anybody else. But it was just a weird experience.
Yeah. That is a ridiculous knockout to get as an amateur.
Yeah, dude.
That's like 0.01% of amateurs get a knockout like that. What amateur fighter has a knockout like that? You know what I mean? None of them.
I don't know.
HoneyHayden, apparently.
Yeah, I get it.
Like,
When I'm in the fucking UFC, like, making my UFC debut, that's going to be on the highlights.
Seriously, it's going to have to be.
That was, somebody was telling me, Justin Flemings, which is Q's jiu-jitsu coach, was telling me, like, dude, Most guys in the UFC wait their whole careers to get knockouts like that. And some never do.
Yeah.
And you have that in your 5th fight as an amateur.
Yeah. No, that's crazy.
I was like, fuck, dude, that's true.
That is a wacky knockout. And also, it's like that's the read that you had. I didn't even see it until you told me where you faked the kick and he like ducked over a little bit.
Yeah.
That is like a high IQ. That's like a read that a kid in pharmacy school would read.
Thanks, man.
Which
Appreciate it.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah, it was hard to explain, and I knew I couldn't just throw, I had to you have to watch it. So when I faked the knee and he was in southpaw, so I knew I had to throw the right knee.
Mm-hmm.
And he ducked to the left, and then I just threw it. And when I threw it, it was so in rhythm with my other movements that it was when somebody throws a flying knee, it's kind of they're fucking throwing a flying knee.
Yeah.
But it was so in rhythm with my other movement that it was no, you couldn't tell I was about to fucking throw that.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
It's like what Josh Pereira was saying that one time. He was saying make all the movements one.
Yeah. And so that way, when you're doing something, they don't know what you're doing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that felt good. But
that was crazy. Watching that at my house was nuts.
What was that like watching live?
Well, I don't think I was just sitting there watching it, and Lauren was sitting next to me, and she didn't move. She didn't move a muscle when it happened. She just I don't think she could believe it. And I was sitting there, and after the first round, I was like, damn, he just wrestled him the whole time.
Yeah.
Hayden's going to have to punch this dude. And then, you need him in the face and put him out. And I immediately was walking around the house, pacing, I just trying to wrap my head around the ridiculous knockout you just got. It was crazy. You probably, and that's probably the case for you probably blew a lot of people's minds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, when I walked out, cause there was only one person that drove, came to see me, Jamie, and I mean she's basically my second mom. So I had to go out there and I was gonna go out there and talk to her, hey, I'm gonna go grab my shit, and then cause I was riding home with her.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was walking out, dude, there was 2 people came up to me and was like, "Can I get a picture?" And then there was dude, everybody I was walking by was like, "Dude, that was fucking crazy," saying that. And then one dude was on the phone. He was on the phone, and he goes, what is that? He said something like, "Dude, you made this night fucking worth it."
That's funny.
He said the dude we went to come see lost, but that was worth coming for. I was like, thanks, man. And then some other dude said some weird. He was like, "Is that what?" Because Gary said at the end of the first round, Gary said, "Dude, I need more footwork and I need your hands going." And then right before the bell rang, he says, "Give me what I want." And then 10 seconds later, I need him in the face. And this dude's like, "Is that what he asked for?" And I was like, "No, I mean, not really. He asked for." I told him basically what he asked for. He's like, "Don't lie to me." And I was like, "All right, I guess." Okay.
Yeah, in the corner, he said, "Knee him in the head."
Yeah, I don't know. But it was pretty crazy.
That is nuts.
All right, I couldn't imagine watching that live though.
Dude, literally, I don't know. I think it just got everybody hype.
Yeah.
Everybody was just hype about it. You know what I mean?
I feel like it was kind of shocking. Everybody was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
What the?
Exactly. I sent it to my dad, and then I called him, and I made him watch it.
What did he say?
He said, "Holy shit!" That's all he could say. I can't even believe it. You know, how'd that even happen just now in an amateur fight? I think that's what makes it so shocking. Is
right. Yeah.
That's the last thing you expect to happen in an amateur fight.
Yeah. I did like watch that. I'm not like tooting my own horn. Kayla says you can't say things like that because it sounds like you are, and I was like, no, I'm just like making an observation about myself. I'm not saying like if I look like a dumbass, I would say, dude, I look like I was a fucking idiot right there. Like I would say the same thing on the other side, but I was like, dude, that looked like pro level. Like that looked like a pro level sequence.
Yeah,
like that whole sequence, like that 1-2, and then the slide back feint, and then throw.
Yeah, the whole thing, like you throw the 1-2, you slide back, and he just totally misses with whatever he threw.
Yeah.
And then you fake, and then you knee. That is like.
Yeah, I thought that was like UFC level.
That's a legitimate sequence.
I can't say that that's UFC level. I've never experienced that, but
that was a high level.
Yeah,
movement.
It felt like it. But let me read some James Clear here. I've been reading the Atomic Habits, dude. It's fire. It's really good.
That's one of them that had me like locked in the whole time I was reading.
Yeah, that's how I think I'm on chapter 3. That's how I've been so far.
That's a good book.
I just finished Unbeatable Mind by Mark Divine. That's a good book. I think I'm gonna go. He has like exercises throughout the whole book on like how to develop mental strength and all that stuff. So I think I'm gonna like go through and redo all those exercises because I didn't do them while I was reading it.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna go through and actually try to do those. Like he has some journaling exercises, some meditation practice. It's probably pretty good. So
that would be fire.
And then I finished GSP's book. I might have to give that to you.
Is it good?
It's really fucking good.
I'll get it. I'm like due for like I've been trying to read this book and I'm at the point where I've reread like the first half of it like 3 times and then I just stopped reading it.
Yeah.
I need to just put it down and pick it up a different time.
What
you know
what is it?
It's there's no plan B to your A game. And it's a good book.
I've heard of it, yeah.
It's a good book. But I have been stuck on it for so long and I just like I don't know, it's just not like I'm just not dialed in to read it.
Yeah, I mean it's fair. It makes sense. Some books are like that. You just gotta take a break, I guess. Yeah. There's been a couple books I've had where I've been reading them and I've been about halfway through and I just gotta put it down for like a week maybe.
Yeah.
I do have 3 books that I really want to get to. The one is A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. I've heard so many people talk. My brother recommended that to me. He was like, "You need to read that book." So that's on the to read list. I got the Motivation Manifesto. I think that's what it's called. I think that one's gonna be pretty good. It looked good. And then Awareness by Anthony DeMello. I think I'm scared to read that.
I've heard of that one.
I've heard quite a people talk about it, and it's kind of like how do I put it? It's like a tough book to read because it's kind of like tells you the areas of your life that you're fucking up.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is how you are, and you have to fix it. You know, being aware of your I guess I don't know. I'm going fucking full idiot, but basically, it's telling you how to be aware of the issues that you have and trying to fix them. So, I mean, I assume that's probably going to be a difficult book to read.
I mean, if it seems like a difficult book to read, then it's probably a good thing.
Yeah. Try to talk a little bit closer.
What up?
Yeah.
Should I have that thing closer?
Yeah, that's good right there.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, Atomic Habits is good so far. So.
What's the GSP book called?
I think it's called Way of the Fight.
Way of the Fight.
I believe. It's really good because he breaks it up like each there's not really chapters. There's no chapters. And it's essentially like there's just sections of the book, and each section is kind of narrated, I guess. Not really narrated, but there's parts of each section where he's talking and then his coach is talking. So the first one is his mom is them two, And then the next one's like him and John Danaher, or Danaher, whatever. And then Faraz Zahabi, who's his head coach, and then like one of his other friends. So it's like they're not chapters, they're like sections,
Mm-hmm.
and each section has him writing the book, obviously, and then there's like excerpts of them like talking about GSP.
That's kind of sweet.
Yeah, it was good. It was good the way like they put it. But his approach to like fighting is really like he's just intelligent. Like he's very smart in the way he approaches things.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I mean, if GSP wrote it, it's got to be a good book.
Yeah, I was very surprised on how good it was written.
Do you read it in his voice?
Yeah. But all right, let me read this newsletter real quick. It's 321 on finding. This is James Clear, by the way. On finding games worth winning, the power of making a lot, and choosing the best, and 2 types of kindness. Number 1, being kind to others is mostly about your actions. Being kind to yourself is mostly about your thoughts. What do you think about that?
Say it again.
Being kind to others is mostly about your actions. Being kind to yourself is mostly about your thoughts.
Definitely.
I think that's like a huge, like I struggle with that, like being fucking nice to myself.
Yeah.
And like if I mess something up, I'll like, you fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you kind of just gotta like, dude, you're gonna fuck shit up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like just allowing yourself to mess stuff up.
Yeah.
And continually like
Yeah.
continue forward. But
yeah, I think there's a balance to it, definitely, because you can't like
Yeah.
let too much slide.
right.
You know what I mean?
And that I'm trying to find that balance because I always have had like astronomical expectations for myself. So keeping those expectations, but not like beating myself down if I don't necessarily meet those expectations. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
being more constructive than destructive, I guess.
Yeah.
Number 2, there's no need to fear any problem you're working on. If you're working on it, then you're influencing the outcome. It's the problems you don't address that should concern you. I think that's really good. I think that ties into like, I think it ties into what Alex Ramosi says. Like, you don't really get anxiety from shit that you're working on, obviously. You get anxiety from the shit that you're putting off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, number 3, before you worry about how to win the game, figure out whether the game is worth winning.
That's fire.
Yeah, that one's good.
That's definitely.
That's like if you're in an argument with something, and it's like, is this argument worth?
Yeah, I was just
winning?
gonna say like that one applies really well to like arguments.
Yeah. Dude, I don't really argue very much anymore. I used to argue a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
Yeah.
I fucking have
Yeah.
way too much energy to put towards other things. Like,
Yeah.
I have to put my energy towards so many other things. I'm not about to fuck us here and argue.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't really like arguing unless it's just like for fun.
I used to, but now it's like, I'm going to win this argument probably. But at what cost? Like, I'm going
Yeah.
to waste my energy doing
Yeah.
that. I don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
and you might piss somebody off too,
That too.
which is just
Yeah. When you woke up one question. When you woke up this morning, did you expect today to have many joys or many frustrations? That's a good fucking
That is
question.
a good one. That is a good one. I saw one that said it was similar to that, and it's kind of corny, but it said every day write it on your heart that today is the best day of the year, which I think is fire because it's like you might as well have a great day every single day, and like that just sounds corny, but it's so real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that is really good because it's like, I feel like that ties into the law of attraction. Like, if you're waking up expecting to be pissed off or expecting, like, things to not go your way, you're, like, inviting those things to happen.
Seriously.
You're looking
Yeah.
for those things to happen, so that's the shit
Yeah.
that's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Instead of, like, just, like, today's going to be fire. Like, we're going to
Whatever you look for is really what you get.
Yeah.
Like, I could literally sit here and, like just think about negative stuff and, like, look for stuff to be negative about.
Yeah.
And, like, I would just be upset. But,
Yeah.
it
Dude,
goes both ways.
whenever I'm, like, so I hate delivering pizzas, bro, but I also really love enjoying delivering pizzas because you get so much time to just think.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, there's times where you're not, but when you're just driving and you got, like, a far-ass delivery, it's, like, 20 minutes. You know you got to drive there for 20 minutes and then 20 minutes back. So it's, like, you're almost driving for an hour.
Yeah.
You get all that time to think. And sometimes, like, I'll just be thinking, like, fuck, dude, I'm, like, broke. I'm, like, a wannabe fighter, like, all this stuff. And then I just think, like, bro, it's all going to work out. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes thinking, like, we're in a simulation helps for that. Because it's like, dude, this is just a game. Like, take risks, enjoy, and have fun. Like, that's literally what we're here for, you know?
If you don't take any risks, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, dude, you're toast.
Seriously.
And, like, right now is the time where you have to take those risks. Because if you don't take those risks now, you're going to be 35 or 40. And I'm not saying that's old. But when you're that age, like, the opportunities that would have come at 25 are gone.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to have those opportunities anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Some people are just so scared to take risks. Like they just will not do it.
Yeah, and I think it's, dude, I feel like I have life fucking figured out. I know I don't.
Yeah.
But it's like I think I have it figured out to where it's like I know how to look at life. So it's like if something bad and I'm not, like, I've never experienced, like, someone really close to me dying and stuff, so that, I fucking don't have that figured out. That would suck.
Yeah.
Like, that, like, you're never going to have that figured out. That's just going to be terrible.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if some inconvenience happens, you just look at it like, okay, like, this doesn't matter. I know I'm on my right path. Like, I'm on my path. I'm on the path that I know I'm supposed to be on.
Yeah. Or even, like, what can I learn from this stuff?
Yeah, like, that's a great question to ask in any situation. Just if something bad happens or something, like, what can I take away from this to improve?
Yeah. I think martial arts is a good thing to open your mind to stuff like that, because it's like, if you get punched, it's probably because you weren't doing something right, and it's like, man, what can I learn from that?
I think jiu-jitsu is more that than anything, though.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like you're always going to get fucked up in jiu-jitsu. Like, there's no time and place where you're not going to get your ass whooped.
Yeah, and you can literally always ask yourself in jiu-jitsu, no matter what, you can always ask yourself, what can I learn from what's going on right now?
Yeah. Well, and Kayla was saying, like, that dude busted. Like, yeah, it was unfavorable. Like, he whooped my ass. And Kayla was like, that's good for you, because literally, and last week I was saying, dude, I think I'm getting really good at jiu-jitsu. Like, it's hard for people to do this to me. Like, it's hard for people to, like, do this. And to be fair, like, he threw up, like, 10 submission attempts and he couldn't really submit me until he did.
That's a good way to look at it.
You know, but I was saying all those things, and I was like, I feel like I'm getting pretty good at jiu-jitsu, like, blah, blah, blah. And then I got fucked up.
Yeah.
And, like, so you're always going to have that, like, humbling portion where you think you're doing good, and then it's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing. It's a really good thing, because it takes that ego out of it. Like,
yeah.
Just how much can you learn is really what it comes down to.
Yeah. If you have the right mindset, losing is learning.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, losing sucks. Nobody likes to fucking lose. But if you have the mindset of, you know, you get pissed off because you lost, cool. But then immediately go to, like, okay, what do I need to improve from this? And even, like, winning, dude. Like, even that Conor Smith fight. Like, I got a, like, highlight knockout. But that whole first round, I did not do good.
Yeah.
Like, I needed to fix that first round.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something to look at and learn from.
Yeah. So, I don't remember necessarily where I was going with that. But, I mean, just, like, I guess I think where I was going is, like, just literally being positive and knowing that, like, the way that you talk to yourself, like, learning yourself is, like, the key to life, I think.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Like,
yeah.
In combat sports, martial arts is one of the best ways to do that, because it takes so much introspection to be like, okay, like you talk about self-awareness a lot, which I think is essentially the same thing. You know, knowing yourself, like being able to be like, okay, if I eat or drink this, this is how I'm going to feel, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
If I lose in this situation, I'm going to try to learn from these things. Like, just being able to do that throughout your whole life, you'll be good.
Yeah, being able to look at what you're doing from an outside perspective.
Yeah. Like, look at third-person view.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, dude, just fucking do fun shit. Like, you're going to be 65 one point and be like, damn, I wish I would have. I struggle with that a lot, too.
What? Worrying about?
Like, I'm so hyper-focused on being good that sometimes I, like, don't allow myself to have fun.
Yeah.
Like, don't allow myself to, like, go out and do things. Like, because Kayla would be like, let's go do this. And I'll be like, no, like, I need to get up and go train. Like, I need to make sure I'm good to go train. Because I want to be so fucking good, which that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But you also have to, like, live a little bit.
Yeah. It's just, there's balance to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's kind of what Joe Rogan says, like, you know, training 7 days a week might be good, but it also might be worse than training 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need enthusiasm, and if you're not enthusiastic, you're not going to learn as much.
Yeah.
So if you train 5 days and you have 2 days off where you can let your brain rest, and then you come back and those 5 days are, you know, more valuable than training 7 days in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's your training going right now?
It's good. I just got my blue belt.
Dude, that's fire.
It's crazy. I don't even like. It doesn't even feel right. Like, I just feel like I should be better at jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I know I told you that. I was like, dude, I feel like you're gonna be a black belt, and you're gonna be saying the same thing.
Probably. Yeah. I think it's just like how when you're a kid and you're like when you're in second grade, fifth graders are old as hell, and then you get to fifth grade and you're like, damn, we're not even that old.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, as a white belt looking at a blue belt, it's like, man, like when I get my blue belt, I'm gonna be good. Like I can't wait. And now I'm a blue belt, and I'm like, oh, like I'm just me. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like, I think I put that on my story today. It was out of the Daily Laws from Robert Greene, and he kind of, I feel like it kind of applies where he was saying, like, you have to not always look at the present. Like, because we're always like, oh, like, I'm a white belt, I'm not that good. I'm a blue belt, I'm not that good. You kind of have to, like, pull yourself out and look at the whole picture. Like, okay, if I continue to do this for the next 5 years, I want to be really fucking good at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I don't, like, you know, like, basing your decisions off of the entire picture instead of the moment.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That's
like,
a really smart way to put it.
I feel like you have to be in the moment all the time. Like, I want to be in the moment all the time, because if you don't, like, you're missing things.
Yeah.
But when it's time to make a decision, you kind of, like, pull yourself back and then look at the whole picture. Like, how is this going to affect my future?
Yeah.
Like, if I fucking take this Adderall right now, or do this drug right now, how is this going to affect me in 5 years? It could fucking ruin my life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But also not being so uptight where it's like you don't take any risks. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, when it comes to getting my blue belt, it's like I also forget that like normal people that don't train have no clue what that is. Like not even the slightest bit.
Yeah.
And it's like I mentioned it to somebody at work, and they were like, "Oh, what does that mean?" And it's like, "Oh, you don't know." And it's just crazy, like living in my own world. Work is the craziest place because like everybody there is like so similar to each other, and then there's like I just feel so out of place there.
Dude, I have that same feeling. Like everywhere. I have that feeling everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Did you have anything to add to that?
No, not really.
Okay, I didn't want to cut you off.
No,
I was just saying. So like, yeah, like I'm in pharmacy school. You can't imagine how fucking out of place I feel in that motherfucker.
Yeah, seriously.
So that, I feel out of place there. Then I go deliver pizzas. I feel a little bit more at place, but not really because, you know, I still am way different than everybody there. And then even I go to martial arts, I feel about 90% at home there, but still it's a little bit like, damn, I'm in pharmacy school and I do all this other shit that these fuckers don't do.
Yeah.
But it's
you should almost live in a way that like you surround like I don't know. You should just like surround yourself with like people that you know you'll feel like understood by. But also, I think there's wisdom in being around people who like you don't fit in with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like that's a good thing, cause like
Yeah.
you can learn from those people. You can learn either what not to do, or like, oh, they have a decent outlook on that. I might take that.
Yeah, definitely.
See, I agree with what you were saying. I did want to talk about this because this shit's been pissing me off.
Yeah.
All right, I get pissed off about a lot of shit. I'm not gonna lie, but this actually really grinds my fucking gears, especially because I'm in this field. So if I have any pharmacists listening, you should probably fucking listen. I doubt it, but we'll see. This shit. All right. First thing I'm gonna say, the ideal diet is not the fucking food pyramid. Just put it that way.
Straight up.
We're gonna dive in. Do you want to talk about this?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about health.
Yeah,
all right?
let's do it.
I bet. So, I recommended you to listen to that podcast with Callie and Casey Means. The girl, I don't know which one it is, because I guess Casey could be a girl or boy's name, and Callie can be.
I feel like Callie's probably the girl.
Probably, but anyway, she was a Stanford-trained surgeon. She was a surgeon, and she got to the point where like she looked at how the medical field was going, and she was like, "Yeah, fuck this. Like I'm done." Like she literally put her scalpel down and like she's just done. Basically, because the medical system is geared towards making money. It's not geared towards anything else.
100%.
And I mean, you can probably, like she was saying like there's people that get surgery, like there's cancer patients that they perform surgeries on that don't need surgery.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I see that all the time at work. People getting surgery who just don't need it.
Expand on that. I want to hear about it.
Well, so I'm not gonna name names.
Obviously. Let's not do that.
But there are some doctors who on weekends.
Mm-hmm.
On weekends, they will.
And hang on. By the way, everyone that's listening, he's a surgical tech. So
attendant.
Okay, surgical attendant.
Surgical attendant.
What's the difference?
A surge tech scrubs in and like hands the doctor tools. Yeah.
Are you the one that like, what do you do?
I like plug in machines and like like they hand me like they have cords that they need to stay sterile, but they plug into a machine that's not sterile. So they throw it to me off the sterile field and I plug it in.
Gotcha.
That's like the bulk of what I do. But anyway, so I'm on call on the weekends and there's a few doctors that will just walk around the hospital just looking for people to do surgery on. And the most popular surgery that they do is an X-lap, an exploratory laparotomy. And so what they do for that is they just open your stomach up and look around. So what they do is they're like, hey, they go to the patient and say, hey, you have like an issue going on. Obviously, you're in the hospital. I believe that issue might be in your stomach. So I'm going to open that thing up and look around. And the last weekend I was on call, we did 6 of those.
Holy fuck.
And those are 100%
unnecessary.
What do they call it? Elective. They're elective. They don't need to happen. They're not emergent. They don't need to happen. It's really just for no reason. And it's like everybody that I work with knows this. It's like, geez, this doctor's pretty much standing on the corner with a sign that says free
advertising.
X-labs. Yeah, it's like, why are we doing surgery on these people who don't need it? They're spending all their money and
yeah, those are probably like $30,000 surgeries.
Yeah,
or something like that.
And so every month, at the beginning of every month, we will have like a morning meeting at work, and they'll say, hey, this past month that we just finished, we did this many cases, and then they compare it to the other months. And most of the time, we beat the record for number of cases. We beat the record every month.
Bro, that's insane.
It's like yeah, last month, good job, guys. We beat the record for the amount of cases we've ever done in a month. And then the next month, they say the same thing. And the next month after that. Like, it seems like they're just doing surgery on people just, for fun.
I mean, they literally do. They just do it to make money.
Yeah.
Like, that is so crazy. Especially hearing that firsthand. You see that firsthand.
I didn't mean to, like, yap and ramble about it.
No,
I really can't.
I wanted to hear about that.
That's my long way of saying that, like, healthcare and, like, hospitals and all that, like the individual, like, nurses and stuff, they genuinely care and they love what they do.
Yeah, those aren't the issue.
The hospital as a whole, they just want to make money. Like, they don't care.
Yeah, and even really the doctors. Like, they're, like... Now, there's definitely doctors that care, but they can't do it. They can't do anything about it. Like, you got to think, those motherfuckers are 500 G's in debt. Like, they got to pay their shit off, too. Like, I get it. But at the same time, like, what was the reason? Like, at that point, you're basically selling your soul.
Yeah.
Essentially. That's literally what you're doing. Because you're no longer... Selling your soul is essentially when you can... And you just don't have any fucking principles. You're just kind of a scumbag. Like... If you can choose money, if money can influence the way that, like, you live your life, what I mean by that is if you have principles and somebody writes a number down on a piece of paper and it's large enough for you to change your principles, you're a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, you're throwing out you're
literally selling your soul. Like, that's...
you're throwing out what you believe in for money. Yeah,
like, you're just a scumbag. But, I mean, and that's just the healthcare idea. I'm not going to basically reference everything that they talked about in that podcast. If you want to go listen to it, it's the Casey Means on Joe Rogan. And I know they've been on a couple other... They were on Tucker Carlson's podcast, which I didn't listen to that one, but I've heard a couple people say that one was good. I know Callie was on... the Modern Wisdom podcast. I haven't listened to that yet, but it's fucking sad, dude. Like, you have these people that don't understand, though. They don't understand. They think that them going to the hospital, they're going to get fixed. And then they listen to what these doctors say, and they think that the doctors know everything.
Yeah.
In reality, Andrew Huberman has stated that 50% of the medical textbooks are incorrect. 50%.
That's crazy.
So it's like you're fucking tossing a coin that you might be right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a good example is my mom right now in Alabama. She's got something going on with her throat, and she's been to, like, so many different doctors and all these doctors are like, yeah, this is what it is. Like, it's this. We're going to do this for you. And all the doctors are telling her different things. And it's like, what even is it? Like, what are we doing right now? You know what I mean? Like,
people are, dude, it's so... But then you have those people that are like... I don't want to call them freedom fighters, but they're fucking, what? I don't know the exact term for them, but basically they'll give their life for their beliefs. They believe that the medical system is the end all be all, and they'll fucking die on that. They'll die on that stake, dude. Those people are clinically insane. Like, those people are insane. Like, you have an issue if you think like that.
Well, and society makes what is actually right look like just hippie stuff. You know what I mean?
It's like, okay, if you eat healthy and you exercise, dude, they were talking about it on that podcast. Like, you're far right wing. You're like radically right if you exercise and eat healthy.
Yeah.
I was like, are you fucking stupid?
Yeah.
Are you that dumb? You can't be that dumb. Like, it's so sad.
Crazy.
What else, dude? I remember one time I walked into my advisor's office, actually, and I said, what the fuck are we learning? I obviously didn't say that word for word, but I was like, what are we learning? And because we were learning about hyperlipidemia and all this bullshit, and about basically, dude, I'm not fucking with you. They were saying, I've said the F word a lot, I apologize for you virgin ears, but they were literally talking about how, like, saturated fat's bad for you and all this stuff. And I was like, I don't know. How can I help? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, saturated fat's bad. And then they were saying, bro, margarine is better for you than butter and
That's the
chicken breast. And I was like,
craziest one.
I was like, what?
Like, these people got to be high.
I was
or
like, dude,
something.
you have to be like, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's so mind-boggling that I don't even have a retort for that.
It's just to make money. It's really all to make money. Like,
Yeah, but then there's like those freedom fighters that believe that it's true.
Yeah,
Like, how are
yeah.
you that fucking stupid to
you
believe
shouldn't
that?
eat red meat.
Like,
It's bad for you. Like,
exactly.
What are you talking about?
Like, bro,
man?
what are you talking about, dog? Like, I don't know, bro. But anyway, I went into his office and basically he literally basically said to me that since I don't have 100% in the class, I have no right to question the professor. And I was like, dog, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, okay.
Like,
all right.
Like, that doesn't even.
It was like, okay, I know that there's like 95% more people that are unhealthy now than there was 50 fucking years ago, but you're on the right path, I guess. Fucking,
Yeah.
okay, buddy.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of pathetic. And that's the thing, like and that's the issue with not only like academia, especially now, but even science now. And I think COVID really fucked it up, but that's different. That's a topic for a different day.
Yeah.
Basically, like, you're not even allowed to ask questions anymore. Like, if you go in, like, exactly that. Like, I went in and asked a question. I know I'm right. 100%. I'm right. And I have an open mind to the point where, like, if somebody provides me more detail and more evidence, I'd be like, I'd probably give it a second thought.
Yeah.
But I know for a fucking fact I'm right.
Yeah.
So I go in there and I tell him and I say that. And then he says, because you don't have 100%, you can't. I was like, dog, what the fuck are you talking about?
He literally basically just said, yeah, it's just because we said so.
Yeah,
Like,
literally, that's almost exactly what he said. I was like, bruh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting fucking worked up a little bit, but this shit pisses me off.
They just make it so hard to, like, actually be healthy because they make it so confusing. Like,
yeah.
Seriously, if you just eat, like, how things are, like, supposed to be eaten, then you're fine. Like, don't eat processed foods.
Yeah, and that I mean, I wrote that down. Like, whole foods. Like, the ideal diet is literally getting whole foods.
Yeah.
And not listening to the dumbass people that say that eat the food pyramid.
Yeah.
Like,
no, yeah.
No, how about you use your brain and think, okay.
Actually, Cheerios are better for you than eggs.
Dude, what did they say? They said Lucky Charms. The FDA came out and said that Lucky Charms are healthier than steak.
That's
and 80-20 beef. And I was like,
dude,
there's going to be people that believe this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Like, what do you mean?
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my whole life.
Yeah.
Dude, if you eat Lucky Charms for breakfast, it's over. You're done.
You're already like,
you're gonna have a bad day.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
A lot of people don't even know that because that's all they eat for breakfast. Like Pop-Tarts, and they have no idea how bad they feel all day because they've never thought, like, maybe I should eat, like, steak and eggs for breakfast or
it's
something.
literally poison. Like, it's not real food. What you should be eating is whole food. Whole food means that nothing has been done to it. You go to the store and you eat steak. Nothing has been done to that other than it's been butchered. You go to the store and you eat eggs. Nothing's been done for that except they've been collected. You go to the I would even, fucking argue against eating vegetables because there's so much glyphosate that's sprayed on it. And glyphosate, by the way, if you don't know what that is and you think that I'm a woo-woo dumbass, look up what glyphosate is. The people who spray those chemicals on the food they're required, I believe, by the EPA to wear hazmat suits. That can't fucking be healthy to eat.
If you gotta wear a hazmat suit.
You gotta wear a fucking hazmat suit to apply it. Probably not good for you to eat. I mean, these people are just so illogical. They're so stupid that it's like,
yeah.
How can you believe that this shit? And I don't mean to be, like, derogatory because I'm not talking about the people that are, like, at home that have no they've never been educated on that. Like, I understand.
Yeah.
They, like, think, like, okay, the government has my best interest. Well, they don't.
And they'll defend that, too.
They will. That's the problem. That's the problem, though. Will they defend it because it, like, if they don't defend it and they change their belief, that means they have to they basically wasted 20 years of their life.
They're just admitting that they've been wrong all this time.
Also, in that podcast, I will reference this. They basically said that like randomized controlled trials, double blind, are like. Do you know what that means? I assume. Do you know what that means?
No. Say it again.
Like a double blind randomized controlled trial is like there's a control group, and then there's like a study group. And the double blind means the people administering the thing that's being studied doesn't know what they're administering, and the people that are taking it don't know what they're taking.
Oh.
So it's like nobody knows, so that way when they get the data, then it's more like it just takes away the bias of like, you know.
Yeah. So then who knows what is actually going on? Like, is there like an administrator that knows like
I actually don't know.
Because I
probably should know, but essentially, you can't do a double-blind randomized control trial with psychedelics.
No.
You know, and if you give somebody a psychedelic, they're probably gonna know they're tripping balls.
Dude, can you imagine not even knowing what you're taking, and the next thing you know, you're like,
yeah, like, and so they were basically saying actually MDMA is a very successful and useful treatment tool for PTSD.
Really?
It's been studied. The problem is you can't do a randomized controlled double-blind trial because they know that they're getting MDMA.
Yeah.
So the FDA like didn't approve it for PTSD treatment, and that was like a month or two ago. And I was like, so that's because there's not a double-blind randomized controlled trial, you can't. Okay,
like,
and that just further proves my point. Like, use some fucking common sense. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And you can't do like randomized controlled trials on food. If you give somebody chicken, they know they're eating chicken.
Know it's chicken.
So like, they've basically orchestrated this, and it's like the pharmaceutical companies. Like, they've basically orchestrated this to the point where the randomized controlled trials really only work when you're like studying drugs. You can't do it for psychedelics. You can't do it but you can do it for pharmaceutical drugs because they don't really know. They don't see like the effects that those pharmaceutical drugs have. You have to do lab tests and all that shit, and then read the labs, and then it's like, okay, this person has this much of a decrease in cholesterol or whatever. And that's the other thing. I'm not saying that not every like there's certain cases where it's like, okay, this is an anomaly. This person has a disease, and it's because of, we don't know what it's because of, but it happened. And yeah, they probably need pharmaceutical intervention. But 90% of the issues come from poor food choices, lack of exercise. Like, if you just eat healthy and exercise, 90% of our diseases would go away.
Yeah,
they would vanish.
If you get your oil changed in your car as much as you need to, you put gas in it, nothing's going to be wrong with it. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, and then you may have an issue.
Like, when it gets old.
Yeah, you may have an issue.
But
like, and that's what I was saying. And then you look at it like, okay, they talk about how cholesterol is bad for you. And I was like, are you people that like these people are smart people is the problem. I'm fucking stupid. I'm stupid. Like, I'm not even that smart. But I have common sense to know that cholesterol is the building block for all of our hormones.
Yeah.
So we're going to decrease our cholesterol levels because of why? Because you think cholesterol affects cardiovascular disease? Well, I hate to break it. And that was the other thing. I went in there and I was like, when I went in there and said that why the fuck are we learning that saturated fat's bad for you? That's been disproven like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I was like, it literally was posted in the Journal of Cardiology. The American Journal of Cardiology posted like an article stating that this has been a myth for 20 years. And then basically he said we can't base our health guidelines off one study. And I was like, dude, this is a fucking meta-analysis. This isn't one study. This is a collection of like 150 studies. What the fuck are you talking about? It's like, are you like what?
It's they do it all to jack up our hormones. That way we,
Yeah.
that way we're content with working a stupid job that we don't like for,
Dude, essentially what they're
years.
doing, they're trying to create slaves.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Yeah.
And
That's just what it is. That's
slaves
literally
that
what it
can't
is.
think for themselves, that have no common sense, that can't logically go through. It just doesn't. It makes sense if you're like up there
Yeah.
making
yeah.
those decisions for
If
people.
I was like at the top of that's just the way to win capitalism, is to just make slaves that will work for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
you know?
literally.
It's just
And like capitalism is good, if you, to a certain extent.
yeah.
Once you go beyond that extent, it's not good.
It's just old white dudes trying to make
It's
money.
like, yeah, literally.
Yeah.
It's so like the issue is when you have like too much of anything is bad.
Yeah.
If you have too much government regulation, that's communism. That's not good. I'm not even going to get into politics because I don't fucking know anything about politics or economics or any of that. But if you have too much government regulation, that's communism. That's obviously bad. You have too much like free market. That's also bad because then people create monopolies and do things.
Yeah.
The problem is when you have capitalism in a sense where those capitalists then also run the government.
Oh
Then
my
that's a
gosh.
fucking problem.
Yeah. I just think
That's where we're at.
I don't really think like humans are like meant to have such a big world. Like I think our brains are just wired to have like little tribes that we
Makes
hunt
sense.
together and we like feed each other and that's it. But
That makes sense.
now that we're throwing currency in there and power in there and technology in there,
And that like the world is ran, like social media is like a big issue.
yeah,
I mean, I think social media can be used for good, but yeah,
yeah.
I agree with what you're saying.
I would just way rather live in a time where like, me, my family, my homies are all just like,
Yeah, like,
building log cabins.
well, in our like physiology and biology is based on that. Like that's what people don't get. It's like
yeah.
everyone's trying to use technology to further better our health, but it doesn't really do that because it's taking away from what our biology actually fucking needs.
Yeah. Yeah. If you just eat organic food, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You eat the
And
right
if you can't
things.
eat organic food, then just eat non-organic whole food.
If you eat enough protein for breakfast, you'll have a good day. That's all there is to it.
Less processed and complex carbs, more fruit, more meat. And if you're someone that can't eat meat, like their body cannot digest meat, here's the best thing to do. How about you go get your blood work done from a functional medicine doctor, which costs a lot of money because our fucking medical system is dog shit. You'll know what you're supposed to eat, and you'll be healthy. But, like I said, our medical system's dog shit, and, it'll cost $2,000 for you to do that. But
That's
You know,
crazy.
keep believing that our medical system is out for your benefit. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done fucking... it doesn't take a rocket science to figure out that, like, it just doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. Like, I'm not that smart, like I said, but it's pretty common sense. Like, the ingredients that are put in your food, I have a challenge for everyone. Go to the store and buy all the normal shit that you normally buy. But when you get home, read the ingredients list of everything that you bought and look up every single one of those ingredients.
You'll find some crazy stuff.
You're going to find some crazy shit. The ingredients in our food is literal poison. Literal poison. The food dyes and the flavorings have been known and linked to metabolic dysfunction, which metabolic dysfunction is the cornerstone for every disease, everything. These food dyes and flavorings are also linked to dementia and Alzheimer's, ADHD, aggressiveness, and so on. These chemicals that go into our food, like they don't test these ingredients at all.
No.
And they're literally like they don't test them unless there's an issue. So if there's an issue, then they test them and be like, oh, well, fuck, we probably shouldn't have put that in the food. And a little late now, you got 100 million people that are already addicted and fucked up from it.
Yeah.
The other thing is that the United States operates on a different dosing, like a toxicity dosing, than other countries. So, like, other countries go off like ours is like a single toxicity dose. So, like, if you eat so much of this thing, it's not going to kill you in this instance. But over the course of 10 years, it's probably going to create metabolic dysfunction and kill you eventually. Other countries don't do that. They do like a long-term like toxicity dose. Like, okay, this could be toxic over this period of time. Like, this is illegal. We're not going to use this. That's why if you go to other countries, then you fucking...
Dude, so much food that's like fine here is like just like they don't have it in other
It's
countries.
illegal, yeah,
It's
literally.
Illegal, yeah.
Like, if you can eat shit food here and go to another country and eat that same shit food, and you'll feel 100 times better.
Yeah. Dude,
it's just...
Red 40's giving our kids autism. Serious.
Dude, yeah.
Straight up.
It's like, I believe it, bro. I believe, like, said...
Sometimes you can just look at somebody and you can tell, like, man, that dude eats some Red 40. Or, like, that dude looks like he's eating seed oils on the daily.
I think, what did it say? I think like 1 in 36 children in the United States have autism, supposedly.
That's crazy. I bet it's probably more.
I think
it's
way more than that.
I think a lot of kids probably have it like just a little bit.
I heard it the other day. It was like 1 in 5.
That's crazy.
I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, it's probably more than that. Even like I don't know.
So I mean that might be true. 1 in 36, but I heard the other day it was 1 in 5. Don't quote me on that.
That's crazy. I wouldn't be surprised. I think most kids have at least a little tiny bit. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Did you... Fuck, I was going to say something. I completely forgot. Anyway. Doctors... I didn't know this. Doctors can literally prescribe a healthy diet and exercise.
Nuh-uh.
On a prescription. A prescription.
Where do you pick that prescription up?
Nothing. They can use that prescription. They have like money that they can use to like get that person a gym membership for free.
No way.
Yes. I swear to God.
And you never hear about that.
It's never done.
Wow.
There's like a law that like doctors can literally prescribe exercise on a prescription.
Dude, I'd be prescribing that to everybody.
The issue is that the United States is like one of the only countries that is allowed to advertise pharmaceutical drugs. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like why? Dude, what's going to happen is everybody in America is going to be all like inflamed and fat and like sweaty and unhealthy, and we're going to get our asses whooped by like...
Probably China.
Yeah, China's probably juicing all their dudes up, feeding them raw milk.
Yeah,
literally, they're gonna come over here and whoop our ass.
Dude, I've heard so many people like, and I don't always like. I try not to be that person. Like, you're an idiot because you don't understand this. It's like I understand that this person probably. I try not to be like that. I definitely am like that a lot, but like I understand those people don't have the proper information. Because, like, I'll talk to people about raw milk. They're like, dude, that's bad for you.
Oh, dude.
And I'm like, dude, what?
That's like...
I'm like, yeah, that's because you've been, fucking brainwashed to think that raw milk's bad for you.
Yeah, that's something I cannot even talk about that at work. If I even mention it, everybody
I can't imagine.
Is like getting knives out to stab me.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I've tried to argue it before, and it just does not go well. It's like, what do you think we were drinking for, what do you think we were drinking before they figured out how to pasteurize that stuff? Raw milk.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
Well, and, I mean, the issue is like, the person who literally invented the pasteurization process, his name's Louis Pasteur. If you don't fucking believe me, look it up. He came out, like, after he coined that and said, we probably shouldn't do this. This doesn't work.
Yeah, it's just
we still do it.
It's just crazy. And like they tell you that like if you drink raw milk is illegal in Ohio. Why?
It's illegal in like most states.
Yeah, unless you own the cow, and that's what That's what me and Lauren do. We have, like, the herd share and,
Yeah.
But
That's so fucking stupid. Dude.
it's definitely worth it to get some raw milk.
I know.
Lauren is extremely lactose intolerant, except for when she drinks raw milk.
I mean, well, like, that's the thing, because, like, the enzymes in there help you process that.
Yeah. So why?
But
would
when you
drink it?
pasteurize it, you heat it to a point where it kills all of the enzymes and good bacteria in it.
Yeah. I don't understand why.
It's just people don't understand.
If I ever get sick from raw milk, I'll admit that I'm wrong. But
Okay, yeah,
I've
I will say the same
thing.
thing. I'll say
minute now. And
yeah.
I'm fine.
But this is the last thing I'm gonna say. Metabolic dysfunction is literally the root cause to almost every disease. Almost every disease. They're starting to call Alzheimer's and dementia type 3 diabetes.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Because you got to think, like, metabolic dysfunction, cells don't stop at. So metabolic dysfunction is basically cellular dysfunction. Your cells can't work properly because you've poisoned them to the point where they don't no longer work. However, it can, like, you can come back from that. However, we're told that type 2 diabetes is incurable. Well, if you go to the doctor and somebody tells you type 2 diabetes is incurable, you look at them and just never go to them ever again because they're lying or they're just too stupid to understand that. But, like, the doctors don't have nutrition courses. None of that. Anyway, you have cells in your brain. I mean, they don't stop at your fucking neck. They don't go into your, you know what I mean? So, like, if you have cellular dysfunction in your body, you have cellular dysfunction in your brain, and ultimately that would lead to dementia and Alzheimer's. And they talked about that in the Joe Rogan podcast I referenced earlier, where, like, the plaques, they, like, try to target the plaques with, like, pharmaceutical drugs. We don't know if those plaques are bad. Those plaques may be, like, a natural, like, reaction to this, like, ultracellular dysfunction our brains are, like, experiencing, and those plaques may be like a preventative mechanism. But anyway,
This is crazy stuff.
yeah, metabolic dysfunction is literally the root cause to almost every disease.
Straight up.
Food causes it, and a lack of exercise, not genetics. It's not bad luck, but food, what you consume, and your exercise level that ultimately leads to metabolic dysfunction. Don't let the government and anybody tell you differently. But if you don't believe me, look it up for yourself.
Straight up.
You got anything else you want to add? You want to end on that?
I got one more thing to add. The
What's
way
up?
that I think about it is God didn't make the earth with food that would kill us and give us cancer. Humans made food out of, what was provided for us that will kill us and give us cancer. So if you just eat how, if you eat how the earth was made, if you eat organic food, and if you eat good meat from happy cows, and you drink milk that isn't ultra processed, you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's how I look at it too. Like, what our ancestors ate fucking 120 years ago, that's probably what we should be eating.
Yeah. When I know that, like, my ancient ancestors that were eating good would whoop my ass.
100%.
Because they just,
there's no poison. There's no,
yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's really all I got for today, fellas. I know it got a little intense there at the end. I get worked up talking about that shit. Especially because, like, I'm literally in pharmacy school and I got to listen to these idiots talk about it. I'm just like, yeah, you're wrong. I've kind of, like, held my tongue to a certain point long enough. Like, I'm done doing that. I'm just gonna tell you how it is. And this is how it is. So, if y'all got any questions, don't fucking no, I'm just kidding. If y'all got any questions, just message me. If you want to talk shit, message me. I'll probably still beat your ass. So, yeah, that's all I got. So, everybody have a great Sunday. Wednesday when this comes out. Appreciate you guys. I hope you like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love, y'all. Deuces. See you in the next one. That was episode 52. Bye, everybody.